Hey guys, MasterFiggy here, bringing you another video. This time I'm going to be showing off my Garp deck, my Monkey D Garp deck that I used in the Treasure Cup on the 27th of May. I'm going to be honest with you, I did not do very well, but I was better than probably some people expected considering the leader I have. I think the deck does have potential. The issue I kind of had was I didn't actually test with the simulator online. I really should actually get around to using it. So, and also the cards as well, like I ordered them a month before the event, if not like sooner, and they only arrived the day before because of delays, which really was annoying. So I mean, technically I did build another deck, and I probably should have used that deck because I kind of knew what I was doing with it more and there's more consistency. But with the Garp deck, I just really like the idea of Garp. I think he really does have potential of being an absolutely fantastic leader in this game. It's just that the synergy with red and black isn't really there. And if you're going to play like pretty much a black deck with this leader, then you're already at a disadvantage compared to other black decks because you are on one life less. But let me just show you guys the deck list I was running and just sort of go through some of the decks that I was playing and some of the strategies that could have worked and maybe didn't work for this deck. So to start off with our 2k counters, we have 4 Otama, 4 Tsuru, and 4 Garp. Now these are your 2k counters. So pretty much they're like your defensive force if you want to put them like that. And you know, your opponent attacks and you have 2k to counter with. It's pretty much what they do. You're not really playing these two that much in this deck. Of course, sometimes if there's a big body on board, you want to just get rid of it with Otama. Tsuru is similar in the sense that she does what she kind of like helps Garp, because Garp can only target cost 7 or lower characters to reduce their cost. Tsuru has no limit, so if you're dealing with an 8 or 9 cost, you can play Tsuru for 1 Dawn and it reduces it by 2, and then that makes it 7 or 6. And then Garp, you can put Dawn on other characters or whatever, and she really complements Garp's ability really well. But generally, like I said, you're using these two for counter power. Garp here, on the other hand, you're really using him at the 2k counter very late in the game. You're using your 2k counters late in the game usually anyway, but Garp you want to play like literally on your first turn. This is a go second deck, and on your first turn you want to play Garp. You want to set him up very quickly because he can apply a lot of pressure. I played against a couple of Whitebeard decks, and these really were I got two Garps out against a Whitebeard player, and he just couldn't deal with them. I even decided to use up 2 or 3 characters to counter an attack on him because I was just wiping the board with these Garps. They couldn't deal with them, they couldn't handle them. Eventually he had a Vista out, but that didn't matter because I was able to get rid of that. It was insane with these Garps. It's incredible. And a great card to use with the Garps, those of you who've probably used the Garp leader will probably know this already, but a great card to use, and I only run 3 of it, is Monkey D. Luffy. So this is the red part of the package, and what he does is you give him 2 Dawn and 2 rested Dawn, so you're basically recycling your Dawn, and that activates this Garp's ability, reducing cost on your opponent's cards. And then you give this Dawn 2 Dawn, that activates that ability. You swing in, you delete a character with 0 cost, and you're swinging into their leader. Like, this is fantastic. On your turn 2, when you have 4 Dawn, you play the Luffy, give him 2 rested Dawn, activate the effect, you give this Dawn the 2 standing remaining Dawn. You can get rid of their cost 3 character very, very easily. I may bump this Luffy up to a 2 to 4 copies, because it did apply a lot of pressure itself, being able to recycle cards, and I think that's fantastic for this deck. So next up, I'm going to show you guys the blockers of the deck. So we have 3 Chopper and 4 Borsalino. So Borsalino, I think a lot of people will say that he is like the best blocker in the game. Like, he is absolutely fantastic. He can't be KO'd by effect. I even forgot that during one game, but that didn't actually matter. Like, I still won that one. Like, he's just really good. You can swing in with him, and he's on 6k on your next turn. If your opponent decides to attack with him, you can use a 2k counter to counter out of it quite easily. Chopper is a throwaway blocker, just very cheap. I may put him up, but I think he's perfectly fine as a 3 of. You don't want to rely on him too much. If you do feel like you need more blockers for this deck, I would suggest looking into either getting Bartolomeo from set 1 or play Hina from set 2. So Bartolomeo is the red blocker, Hina is the black blocker. I think both of those are interesting just to play around with. But I like this ratio that I have for the blockers for now. I may put in 1 more blocker, like that's it, like just 1. Next up, we have our removal cards. So let me just get these for you guys. So we play 2 Sakazuki, 2 Garp, and I think everybody knows Kobe. Like, I'm pretty sure like every black deck plays Kobe. Like, if they don't, I don't know why they're playing black. So these are all removal cards. So Kobe and Sakazuki are very similar. You on play and you discard a card, and Kobe lets you destroy a cost 3 or lower character, and Sakazuki lets you destroy trash a cost 5 or lower character. These are just really nice for getting bodies off the board on play. Kobe's really nice if you really, really need him for counter power. Garp and Sakazuki are very similar, each having their own benefits and each having their own cons, but each of them are different. Each of them are good choices for different reasons. If you're going up against a red matchup, I think Garp is Sakazuki I feel is much better for red in a way, because they can't jet pistol it, so they can't get rid of the body off the board as easily. Though of course they can Otama it and then Vista, but I mean they need to use 2 Otamas to use it on Sakazuki. Garp is really good for like red or like blue matchups and green matchups, even against Law, because he can be a bit risky against Law if they're running jet pistol. But what's nice about Garp is you can just like keep using his ability like turn after turn as long as he's on the field. And because of this Garp's ability, the leader Garp, you can keep reducing character costs, and using this Garp you can just get rid of them like fairly easily. So that's really, really nice. I may either boost this one up by 1 or this one up by 1. I'm not too sure. I felt like I needed more removal cards in this deck when I was playing it. But yeah, that's it for like the removal part of the deck. I suppose this is more miscellaneous. So we play 3 Smoker. I was running like 2 of the Rush Zoro, but I felt like with the Rush Zoro if he's like in your hand, you know, he has no counter power. This really does, and this can be either an attacker for you or a, you know, just a throwaway card for your like Sakazukis, or it can just be a counter, which is very nice. He is only 4k instead of 5 like the Rush Zoro, and of course he can't attack on the turn. He can't attack on the turn he is summoned like Rush Zoro, but I think this card is better for the deck. He can't be like can't be gotten rid of by card effects, and if your opponent has 0 cost character on board, then you know when attacking he gains 2k power, which is fantastic, honestly. So you're really doing well with this card, with this leader, and I think that's amazing. And we also play 3 of the Kuzan. So this is the big issue I find with Garp, is you have like not just Garp, but with black deck in general, you have no actual search power, and that's a huge issue. With Kuzan here, he really helps the Garp ability first off, hitting over if you're swinging in, you can reduce the cost of 8, 9, and 10k characters, and you can get the benefit with the Garp ability. Kuzan also lets you draw a card on play, which is very nice. So you really do need to play minimum 3 copies of Kuzan in the deck, like even in Smoker, and if you're playing Akainu or Zephyr, like, you know, Kuzan is like a card that you definitely need, in my opinion. Then we play 3 of this Smoker. So this card didn't actually come up as much as I'd like it to, so I may cut this down to 2. So the idea is you reduce he can't be KO'd by card effects, just like this Smoker and Borsellino. And he also has the nice ability of, if you give him a Dawn, he can double attack if there's a character with 0 cost on the field. So that's really nice. The only issue with that is it has to be if like you give him a Dawn while there's a character with 0 on the field. It's not like Kinemon, you know, where you can activate it while there's 1 character on the field, and then the next time you play it, sort of thing. So if there's a blocker and you reduce it to 0, you know, the blocker can just block this, which is a bit annoying. So you kind of have to work your way around some situations like that. But really, this never really came up. I never really got a chance to use this card's ability, which is unfortunate because I really would have liked to. Against the Kinemon deck I was playing against, I kind of did that, but really it didn't apply enough pressure, in my opinion. And then the last of the characters, we play 2 Edward Newgate. Honestly, I could get rid of this card. It's not that useful in this deck, in my opinion. I didn't find it that useful. I really just wanted more removal cards as I was playing this deck. Like late games, this is just a dead weight. I actually end up discarding it so many times to play the Kobe and the Sakazuki. Like, this really didn't help me that much. It helped me in my first game, I'll admit, against Kid, and like that guy was like a really good player. I have to say, he was absolutely fantastic. So I think maybe it does have a place in the deck, but I just feel like Edward Newgate was just a bit bricky a lot of the times. But me saying that, it was up against Kid, it did very, very well, in my opinion, against it. And you know, going up against Kid, like Kid is slowly coming back as a meta relevant, I think, especially with and it wasn't even Kid Film, it was like Kid like Control, I think. And I think, like, okay, like Kid's not like the top card, but it can still be very, very strong against a lot of those decks, I think. And I think it's one to like watch out for in the future. But sorry, let's go on to the events here. You can see I have 2 Radical Beam, 2 Shockwave, 2 Meteor Volcano, and this one I'm a little bit back and forth about. It is 2 Great Eruption. So first off with Radical Beam, I think this is like needed, because we only have 4 life, so it's very easy for us to go down to 2. And then Shockwave. Shockwave does come in clutch sometimes, getting rid of the smaller bodies that your opponent could possibly swing in with. Meteor Volcano is very good because like literally on my last game, it did come in clutch against a Magellan deck, and they had a blocker out, and I was just super lucky to get this in my life. I didn't activate the trigger, but you add a bunch of Dawn to like Garp and all your other characters to spread out the strength, and you slap that down, it gets rid of the blocker, and I just swung into the opponent. It was fantastic. This card here, I'm playing it because of it's basically another Kuzan, and it's also Tsuru in 1 card for 1 Dawn. So essentially you play this card and you draw a card for 1 Dawn, and then you give one of your opponent's characters -2 Dawn. And the trigger ability, I don't think I use. So yeah, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and trashes it. I did actually end up using that in 1 game. I don't think it really made much of a difference, but I just wanted to play it just sort of slow down my opponent's plays a little bit, and also to allow me to swing in without them being able to counter. But like I said, it didn't really make much of a difference. They were able to beat me with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ratios for these events. I feel like I need more of this, but I kind of want to cut this down, but at the same time I feel like it's really good. So I don't know, I feel like I need to like have a little bit more focus in my deck, a little bit more, because I feel like it is a lot more defensive, it's a lot more destructive with the cost reduction. But yeah, let me just briefly mention the decks that I went up against today. So interesting enough, out of the 9 rounds, only 3 of them had red decks, and 1 had like a red-green deck, which was Law, of course. So first off, against Kid and one of the Whitebeard decks and Magellan, the deck did really well. I did goof up against one of the Whitebeards, and it really did cost me the game. I'm not saying I would have definitely won, but I think I would have had a much greater chance of winning it if I just didn't make that misplay, and that really does annoy me. Like it really does annoy me that I went up against Zoro player. Zoro was really quick. This is like the issue I was saying with black. There's no search power in this deck unless you're playing red, and because this is more black focused, you can't search out the destructive cards, unfortunately, until set 3 comes out. So that's really annoying. Doflamingo, I think I may have made some mistake, I think, when I went up against that deck. Against Law, I feel like I should have mulliganed and I didn't, because I saw 1 card that I needed, but then I didn't really think too much about the other card in my hand, and I kind of thought that well, I didn't think, that's the issue. I didn't think too much about it. Also, they forced me to go first, so that was really annoying. I also went against Kaido player. Like, a lot of these matches were really close, I have to admit. Like, against Kaido, I think I did bring them down to 1 life, or maybe it was 0 life. Law, it was down to 1, brought them down to 1 life. Both Whitebeard players. Whitebeard is very easy to win actually against with this deck. But I say that and I lost one, but like the first one, it was just pure um inexperience with like, playing with the deck properly. So I don't blame the deck for losing against that. Like it really is myself. Like this deck should have actually beaten that very easily, I think. I just made the misplay, which was really annoying. Magellan, it really could have gone either way, honestly. I think he was just a really good player. Kinemon is just a pain to deal with. Doflamingo is also a pain to deal with because they can just keep spamming their board. It's just really frustrating. And then Zoro, like, the guy got like 2 rush Zoros out very quickly. There was nothing I could really do against it. I was just really unfortunate that I didn't see any Borsellino that could have helped me. But yeah, that was it for the Monkey D. Garp deck, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I honestly think this deck is good. Maybe not this particular build, but I think this leader and the ideas in this deck I think really do work. And I hope to really like build upon this very soon. And hopefully, you know, in the next tournament, and I am registered for it in July and I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully I do well there. But I really want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you play Garp or any strange deck, please comment down below. Tell me what it is. I really like playing weird decks myself. And, you know, thank you guys for watching and take care, everyone.